Hi, my name is Heather McKay, and this summer I am conducting my internship at my home base site, West Pender Middle School, and my alternate site, Pender High School, in the Pender County School District. Today I would like to focus on Standard 2 of the North Carolina Standards for School Executives based on instructional leadership, which emphasizes the importance of principals as evaluators, learning leaders, and champions of high-quality instruction across all content areas. We will be covering the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction Summary of Instructional Leadership, Evaluation with Learning at the Center, what the leaders say, what I have learned, and what we can do next. Faculty meetings as collaborative learning hubs, shifting structures, evolving purpose, and action steps forward. Observation and feedback, processes, teacher-centered feedback and objectives, and expanding the impact, followed by a list of references and justification of self-evaluation ratings. The North Carolina Department of Public Instruction summarizes instructional leadership as school executives will set high standards for the professional practices of 21st century instruction and assessment that result in a no-nonsense, accountable environment. The school executive must be knowledgeable of best instructional and school practices and must use this knowledge to cause the creation of collaborative structures within the school for the design of highly engaging school work for students, the ongoing peer review of this work, and the sharing of this work throughout the professional community. This summary establishes the school leaders are expected to demand excellence in teaching and assessment that aligns with modern-day learning needs, including thinking critical, collaboration, technology integration, and real-world relevance. Creating a culture where everyone is focused on student learning and growth with clear expectations, follow-through, and accountability. Principals are responsible for staying informed about what works best in teaching and learning based on research and experience. Additionally, teachers must intentionally build systems such as PLCs, professional learning communities, grade level teams, or co-planning groups to ensure that teachers work together to improve instruction. With the goal of these collaborative structures to help teachers design lessons and learning activities that truly engage students rather than just filling time or meeting surface level standards. Encouraging teachers to continuously reflect on improving their lessons by getting feedback from colleagues and by sharing successful strategies school-wide so the whole professional community grows. One of the most impactful takeaways as I have begun navigating my internship through the closeout of the school year and engaging in conversation in regards to conducting summatives with teachers is the fact that both administrators emphasize learning as the central lens of evaluation. The principal at West Pender Middle School said, "Evaluation shouldn't be a checklist. It should open a door to learning." Similarly, our assistant principal noted that their guiding question during observation is always, what evidence shows students are learning? These insights reminded me of Charlotte Danielson's framework, which asserts that evaluation should promote teacher development by focusing on what students actually know and can do. It also connects to Kim Marshall's emphasis on short, frequent, feedback-rich observations as a more effective approach than high-stakes, infrequent ones. Reflecting on this, I see how learning-centered evaluation systems shifts the tone of feedback, from judgment to coaching. It made me realize the importance of using student work during post-observation conferences and how leaders can truly grow instructional capacity by prioritizing evidence of learning over formality. So, as a next step, I recommend forming a peer collaboration team to norm expectations around what quality instruction looks like. We could also use student work as artifacts as a required component of post-observation discussions and offer PD on delivering growth-centered feedback. These actions align directly with NCSSE Standard 2, which calls for high standards in professional practices and collaborative instructional leadership. Serving as an evaluator with learning as the focus isn't just about doing walkthroughs, it's about doing them with purpose. As I have entered the MSA program, I've been hyper aware in watching what my school administration have been doing throughout the school. I've noticed and engaged in conversations in regards to an intentional shift in how faculty meetings are being structured and led. What was once primarily a means for top down information sharing has evolved into a committee of the whole, where staff collaboration has become the focus. Every meeting includes updates from a variety of voices, such as our school counselor, the sit chair, and administrators, all playing a role in sharing key information. But beyond updates, our principal is modeling learning leadership by guiding the faculty into deeper conversations, current challenges we're facing as a school, whether it's student behavior, cultural disconnects, or instructional gaps. And we work together to unpack and address them. This approach reflects the shift described in research by DeFore on professional learning communities. Leadership isn't about having all the answers, but about creating the right structures for staff to explore solutions together. To build on this momentum, I recommend using problems of practice strategies to help teams dig deeper into real student work or case studies while getting feedback from others that aren't so in the weeds with details. We could also rotate facilitation roles to build capacity across staff. These moves align directly with NCSSE Standard 2, which calls on school leaders to foster a collaborative culture for instructional growth. In my time under Principal Garza and Assistant Principal Dr. Jordan, I've observed how they share responsibilities for conducting formal classroom observations. They follow a consistent process regardless of the teacher's experience level. During the observation, time-stamped notes are collected along with documentation of teacher and student time on task, engagement strategies being used, and individualized focuses based on professional development plans. What I found particularly effective is the transparency of the feedback process. Before anything from the evaluation rubric is discussed, the teacher reviews the compiled data first. They're invited to ask questions like, what was happening when the engagement dropped here? Then the conversation shifts into rubric aligned evaluation. This structure builds trust, avoids bias, and supports meaningful reflection. Teachers are also encouraged to present additional evidence if they feel a rating should be reconsidered, and administrators are open to adjusting scores when warranted. As a recommendation, I believe this approach could be extended by training teacher leaders to use the same protocols for peer observations and by incorporating teacher self reflections into the post observation process. These additions further align with NCSSE Standard 2, which emphasizes a culture of continuous instructional growth and collaborative professional practices. Thank you so much for listening to my reflection on the process at West Pender Middle School for Standard 2 instructional leadership. Here's a list of my references noted in this presentation today. Here is a copy of the rubric for this process, including at the bottom the list of ratings for self reflection that I have conducted, and the justifications of my ratings under each category. Again, thank you very much.